Good morning, Infinity. As we are preparing for today's service, this is If Teaches. I'm Reverend Jeff Obafemi Carr, also known as Rev Jeff. This is the moment to get your coffee ready, get your tea ready, gather your family around the television or around your computer device, wherever you are. Settle in for morning service, If Teaches. We're in the middle of a great series, 7 generations, forward and backward. That's where the healing is coming from today. I'm excited to welcome you into If Teaches, because If Teaches is when you get an opportunity to be a part through your questions and spiritually your answers. So listen, hit the thumbs up button if you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like button on Facebook, hit the retweet button on X. Let's get this going today. Welcome to Infinity. Welcome home. We'll see you in a minute. Good morning, Infinity. We want to welcome everybody into the space today of virtual life, the infinite life stream. That means that you are watching us via the miracle of technology. And because of that, we are so grateful that you have decided to stay with us today, to be with us today in this wonderful space that we call the Infinity Fellowship. We are so grateful and ever grateful for the example that you have made, that all of you have made to come into this space. To move spirituality to a new level, to move spirituality to a space of coming together as opposed to being distant. And so we are grateful for each and every one of you who calls this space your spiritual home. I'm so grateful for those of you who may be first timers who have been tuning in or hearing about Infinity in different spaces. We're very grateful to have you with us today. And as always, we want to remind you that we do see the real you at the Infinity Fellowship. So regardless of what path you claim, what set you claiming out there, whatever religious path or faith that you practice, all paths, all faiths are welcome here at Infinity. Because guess what? As humanity, we have more in common than we have in difference. And here we're going to celebrate that. So you have landed squarely in the core of consciousness, the apex of authenticity. And I'm so glad, on behalf of the entire Infinity Fellowship family, to welcome you and to say that you stopped by here today is not an accident. The fact that you stopped in means that you are staying at the crossroads for a next level of growth and development. At Infinity Fellowship, we begin by centering ourselves with breath. We can call it meditation, we can call it centering, we can just call it breathing. But either way, it is a remarkable testament, it is a remarkable evidentiary action that lets us know that we're alive and that we're here. And as we are alive and we are here and we are present, we are ever grateful. So take a deep breath in and just let it go. Good. Take another deep breath in, lift your shoulders up a little bit so you can deliberately know that there's some tension in your body. And on an exhale, just let it all out. Lower those shoulders, let the skin on the back of your shoulder blades descend toward the floor. Open your chest slightly so that the passage is open. And now begin to breathe deeply in and out in what we call those deep belly breaths. So breathe that breath down into that belly. Expand that belly on the inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and bring it flat. Or as you hit your 50s like me, relatively flat. Any thoughts, any distractions, any sounds, don't judge them. Don't try to be involved in them. Don't try to block them out. Just simply make them part of your meditation. Notice them, bring them into the breath, and then release them in the exhale. Something just like this. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling the stillness. Exhaling the agitation. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling the healing. Exhaling the dis-ease. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling the open heart. Exhaling the conditioned and closed mind. Inhale. And exhale. Just a little something like this. Continuing to breathe just like this, adding to the practice, if eyes are not already closed, the closing of the eyes, the bowing of the head, and the opening of the heart. As we now focus that breath and that consciousness on the God of your acceptance and understanding, recognizing that that spirit, that life energy, may be perceived by many different names, and yet we know it today in only one energy, that energy of peacefulness, that energy of love, that energy of divine consciousness and beauty. We pause together around the world to recognize that energy, to embrace that energy, and to acknowledge that our life exists nowhere without it. And yet that energy is everywhere, all at once, at the same time. And so as we breathe in and out now around the world, we unite our consciousness in the recognition of divine source, Mother, Father, God, an all-wise and all-loving presence and essence, the divine spark from which we all came and from where we will return. We give thanks, O God, in this moment, in the acknowledgement of our presence here as we are united in consciousness and focus, in recognition of the awareness of you. We are acknowledging your divine presence here in this moment. We recognize that we are acknowledging that awareness because you are always here with us. You are not a distant and far away entity. You are not something that is inaccessible unless we have someone else to access you for us. You are us and we are you. Small buckets and cups of waters from the divine ocean, an endless, endless source of life, an endless source of love, an endless source of power. And we are grateful that you are in our presence today as a fellowship. We are so grateful because our bodies are animated, because our minds are open, because our spirits are in alignment today. And when we pause in moments like this, it is simply to say, thank you. And we are grateful today. We are grateful for those who have gathered here, who find this place a spiritual home. We're grateful for the gift of family. We're grateful for this space called the Infinity Fellowship, the building, the 641 West Nocturne Drive. We're thankful as we go into 10 years of existence from this vision. And I give you personal thanks that on April 16th on West End Avenue near 18th Avenue North, there was a moment of acceptance that I would say, yes, I will follow this vision. And in doing so, it sparked this very now global fellowship, not because of me, but because of a willingness to let go and let you. And so I speak that same willingness to everyone who is under the sound of my voice, that they simply let go and let you. Because when we tap into our God purposes, our purposes on this earth, our God-given purposes, we receive the love and the guidance that only you can give. And it is a guidance to be in alignment. And so we thank you for this 10-year space of celebrating this victorious alignment. And that now we have a space to call home that is growing, that is thriving, that is healing, that is uplifting, that is pouring into people all over around the world. And so we're grateful to pour in for the good today, for the good of those who are suffering through grief right now, to the families of our sister Mandisa Hundley in the understanding of her short life on this earth. But what a gift she gave with her voice to her members of her Fisk University family, to Christian radio and God-filled music and spiritual connection to a divine purpose that lives on forever through the personage we know as Mandisa. Her story of rising through the ranks, from singing through American Idols to albums to concerts globally. She will be missed in the body, and yet her legacy lives on. We give thanks to our sister's spirit, Keisha Oldham. We were able to attend her services yesterday, God, and we're so grateful that her family, that her friends, that people who she touched all around this city and this state remember her name and continue to speak well of her. We speak love and energy over the Page family and send comfort, and are grateful to send that comfort to Rico and LaWanda Page and Chazon Page, whose services we were able to also attend yesterday. Our young man who proved what it means to be a hero. And although he lost his life at 21 years old, knew his purpose was to protect, not just as a center on a football team, but when he was walking his young lady to the car and that car was speeding up Gallatin Road, his last act was to think of someone else and to push her out of the way. And so we recognize that his standard of living, that the standards of those who may not have lived on this earth a long time, but lived on their purpose will continue to keep us reminded that we are here for a purpose and a reason. We're grateful for our personal family member, the spirit of Brother Frankie Lane Davis. And we'll call his name aloud, but to the Davis family, to the Hayes family, to those who are down there in Seal, Alabama, and Atlanta, Georgia, and beyond, we are grateful for the example of love and selflessness that we saw through Brother Franklin, and that maybe we keep Lane's energy alive by loving on each other a little deeper and recognizing that absence in this physical body is simply presence with divine source. So it is good to have communities to provide comfort. It is good to have perspective so that we can love our families a little deeper and a little longer. And all of these things are made possible by you. We thank you for whole bodies. We thank you that something is said in today's service that will awaken something in someone to recognize that we may not have long on this earth, but whatever we have, we're going to give it all we've got, and we're going to do it in love. It is for these things and others that we cannot put into words that we simply breathe together in gratitude and exhale in the same. We proclaim this all on such, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Hotep. Shalom. Namaste. Ashe. And so it is. It is done. Let us prepare for our pouring of libations. I want to welcome especially our first timers who say, well, man, what kind of church, what kind of spiritual center opens up with meditation first, Infinity? And then they go to the universe in a powerful way that unites people across all religions and traditions, Infinity. And then they got the nerve to do, what is this new thing that they're talking about? He's holding a cup of Voss. Something is going on. Well, we're getting ready to pour libations. So yes. A libation is a pouring out of water. It is a recognition that life does not end with the ceasing of this physical earth suit. It just allows us to go and to grow into our highest self, a self that cannot be contained anymore by the body. And when we pour this water out that represents the living, we pour into the earth that represents what happens to this little earth suit. This little vessel that you put a name on, that I put a name on, this little DNA pattern that becomes one with the cosmos, we recognize that that circle of life is complete. And just like the infinity symbol travels from highs to lows to maintain its motion infinitely, when we pour into our universe and recognize those who have come before, we too acknowledge the infinite nature of all that is. So I invite you, as we go to the altar that represents the fire, the water, the air, and the earth at infinity, I invite you to think about those names that you want to call aloud when it's time to. And I want you to think about those relatives who have gone by in your family, those who are friends who are close, those teachers, those leaders, those elders, those childhood friends who may not have gotten to seen adulthood, to have seen adulthood. We want to recognize everybody because we stand on their shoulders. And should we live in on our purpose and live in and on our purpose, should we do that, we also create a space. We create a plateau for others to stand upon as well. We use the Yoruba word ashe, which means, and so it is. It is a proclamation of spirit, of divine essence, of everything, y'all. And so we pour it this time and invite you. Some of you love to type a name or two in the chat. Go ahead and type them in the chat. I guarantee you it'll make you feel good. And so as we pour today, we say cool water, freshen our spirits, ashe. Freshen and consecrate this space for spiritual work, ashe. Freshen our collective ancestors all together, ashe. We give praise to Almighty Mother, Father God, Divine Source, and all creation, ashe. And so we pour in the 7 cardinal directions, the energies of the north, where we commit today symbolically to be a yes, to show up, to be present, to be who we truly are, and to stand firmly in that consciousness. Ashe. We pour to the energies of the south, and the south symbolically recognizes who we are and whose we are. Ashe. To the energies of the east, recognizing and acknowledging the rising of the sun today. Even if it's a cloudy sky, the sun is up there above the clouds. So today's a brand new day. Don't carry yesterday into the right now. Ashe. To the energies of the west, recognizing and understanding that as the sun goes down on the western horizon, the moon and the stars appear, so that even in the darkness, we may find light. May you always remember that there is always light, even in your darkest times. Ashe. To the energies of the ground below us, that direction, that 5th direction, reminds us to be rooted, because as we are rooted, when the storm comes, it may bend us. But as the old saying says, it is better to bend than it is to break. Ashe. To the sky above us, the wondrous blank landscape, the space of wondering, the space of seeing an empty slate that we can paint with our dreams, recognizing with that ability the gift to bring it into manifest reality when we walk in and on purpose. Ashe. And finally, to the 7th direction, the grand central station of everything, the human heart. It's the space where we hold our dreams symbolically in the energy wheel known as Anjali in the yogic tradition, the chakra energy of light and love that emanates from the center of our body brings all these directions together. May your heart, in this recognition of the shoulders that you stand upon, always be light as a feather. Ashe. And now we ask that you think of those names that you'd like to recognize and begin to call them aloud as we pour these next few pours of water. Of course, we pour this energy for the spirit of Brother Frankie Lane Davis, Ashe. For the spirit of Brother Chazon Page, Ashe. For the spirit of Sister Mandisa Hunley, Ashe. For the spirit of Sister Keisha Oldham and family, Ashe. And now we ask that you call those names aloud as we call them with you, as this energy goes into the ground. And to the children in the world, womb and yet unborn, we say together around the world, Ashe, 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 oh, so it is done.
Good morning, Infinity! It is time for the statement of infinitude, okay? So greetings, I am Lady Kanitha Carr, and I am pleased to welcome you to the Infinity Fellowship, we pause to remind you of the 4 core principles of this gathering, and we call it SNAP. You're going to hear that throughout this whole Sunday. It's us snapping. SNAP stands for the S. The S is for spirituality that transcends religion and connects you to the God of your own understanding. The N in SNAP is for nurturing of ourselves and others, mind, body, and spirit. The A is for action, because we take action on our callings and walk in our divine purpose every day. And finally, this is important, the P is for the proof that our spiritual practices manifest fruit in our lives through the building and maintaining of healthy and prosperous families, relationships, careers, and dreams. We are grateful you all are here as unique manifestations of our Creator, the loving, living spirit of our commonality, the divine source of all creation, perceived by many names, but guess what? Yet known by only one energy. This is the foundational practice of true interspirituality, where all are affirmed in love energy. So I invite you all at home to stand with me and join me in our statement of infinitude. We agree that we are beings of pure, eternal spirit, birthed from the creative potential of the universe, with all the powers of the Creator inherent within us. We embrace the innate goodness of humankind and an abundant creation that provides for us through the seeds that we plant in our everyday lives. We acknowledge that who we are is housed in a temporary biological organism, and as such, it is our responsibility to take care of it, because it will only last for a precious window of time. As we nurture ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, we commit to provide like acts of nurturing for our fellow brothers and sisters of the world we live in, embracing all regardless of religious faith, skin color, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic background. All are truly welcome at infinity. We agree and accept that various religions exist as a unique opportunity for humanity to get to know one another through meaningful conversations that seek to explore the core concepts we share in common. It is the application of ancient wisdom, scientific discovery, and spiritual practices, both physical and metaphysical, that will lead us closer together as a human family. We commit to exist now and ever as a beloved community. Let it be so according to the many ancient terms of affirmation. Amen, Amin, Hotep, Shalom, Namaste, Ashe.
Hey, Ashe. Y'all know what we're about now. That's what it is. If you haven't been here, we're getting ready to share some infectious gratitude. We're going to celebrate in gratitude, y'all. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how we do this. We're going to sing Good Morning to You. It's a real simple song. It's a real simple song, and it's a real good way to generate gratitude and energy. So I'm going to invite you in the chat today. I've got my monitor up here. I'll be looking in on the chat all the time today because we're on our infinite live stream. So listen, in that chat, type one thing that you're grateful for. Let us know who you are. Let us know where you are. If you're Lisa in Tampa, Florida, say that. It's on the screen there. I'll give you an instructional slide that's up right now. It says, my name is and I am grateful for. Give us one thing that you're grateful for and watch what happens as we spread this energy around the world. It's a song called Good Morning to You, and Lady Kenitha's gonna lead us in a powerful way.
Morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Hey.
A good morning to you. A good morning to you. A good morning to you. Good morning to you. And we say, a da 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 da. Hey, good morning. Good morning to you. I hear y'all singing. Good morning to you. Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. To all our live streamers, hey, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And we say, da 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 da, da 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 da. To all my babies that are out there watching, good morning to you. Hey, good morning to you. 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 Good
Good morning, y'all. How you feel? I bet you feel good because I know we feel good. So how about that? So how about we go and read off some of these moments of gratitude because I know we got some and it's going to be fun and it's going to be awesome. And I got my cup of coffee ready to get it going. So mornings of gratitude. I see many people in there. See you, Jasmine. See you, Nikita. See you, everybody. We see you coming into the space today. Martin is grateful for the love of family and community. We've got, and I'm going to go rocket fast, Tony. So we got it. Christine is grateful. I'm Christine the Trotter, grateful for this beautiful day. Oh, that's awesome. I'm shouting everybody out to Shauna Lindsley. Good morning, beautiful if. So very grateful for my husband this morning and my community. Every single one of y'all. That means all of y'all around the world. Look, I'm Reverend Jeff, and I'm grateful for a rubber bottom on this coffee cup. I didn't realize till I set it there, and then I said, wait, the cup of coffee is going to slide, and it didn't slide. Oh, give thanks for the coffee cup, because today it's good. It doesn't slide and slide. Oh, yeah, we come up with a song in a minute. All right, we got Sister Iris. Good morning. I am grateful for being a grandma. Come on, grandmama. Come on. Looks like we got some standing ovations coming. I absolutely love it. Sister Shirley Tripp is here with us. My name is Shirley Tripp, and I'm grateful for being blessed to see another day. And we're grateful for you, Sister Shirley, with all your super talented folks checking in. I am Candace. I am grateful for health, fulfillment, and of course, Infinity Fellowship. We're grateful for you too. We're in this house today. Nikita's in the house. So much to celebrate. I know she's going to fill up standing ovation. Good morning, my IF family. I'm grateful for life and the lessons we learned during this growth process. Look at all that gratitude coming in, y'all. Better get in it. Jasmine Bibbs says, my name is Jasmine, and I'm grateful for love. And love is grateful for you. Because it's a reciprocal thing. Isn't that awesome? Sister Thea is in the house. Grateful for my village. The support systems came through for us this weekend. Brother Tyrell says, my name is Taylor. That means Taylor on Daddy's account, which I love. And I am grateful for summer and that this school year for me and my sister is going to be over. Whoa, it's over. I will miss my friends, but I'm going to have the best summer ever, y'all. Speak it. I'm going to have the same thing. And I'm speaking that for Lady Kenita. I'm speaking that for everybody. This is the greatest summer ever. Tyrell says, and Talia's taking over now, says, I'm grateful for my family and for infinity. And we are grateful, too, for you, baby. We love y'all. Wherever y'all are in the world, all of this gratitude is coming in. Brother Rob Moses, hadn't seen you in a while, man. Greetings in Ma'at Hotep. Yes, that balance, that love, that peace in the space today. And of course, Christy Sharp is checking in. Great rising. If I'm grateful for this space. Listen, y'all, keep generating that gratitude. I'm going to give y'all an early warning. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you an early warning in the chat. I'm going to invite you in the chat. If you have a standing ovation, go ahead and put it in now. I'm going to send a link in the chat right now that if you have something that amazing has manifest for you that you want to share with us and share with people around the globe, you know what it means. If you've been in Infinity before, you know that we celebrate standing ovations. So simply click on the link that's there in your chat, wherever you are, whatever platform you're watching us on. Go ahead and fill that out early, so that we can celebrate that standing ovation with you when we get to that part of the service. In this moment, we're glad and you're excited to be here today. We have gotten through welcoming you. And so at this point, I want to reintroduce myself to those of you on what we call our infinite life stream, because it is time to welcome our first-time visitors. So I want to say, good morning, Infinity. Wherever you are around the globe, I want you to say it. I don't care if there's nobody in the room and you feel crazy. Just imagine there's 1,000 people with you. Good morning, Infinity. All right, my name is Jeff Obafemi Carr. In this space, I go by Rev Jeff. And it is at this time that I get the pleasure, the privilege of welcoming our first-time visitors into the Infinity Fellowship. This is the space where people do make a quantum leap from just harsh religious doctrine to profound and expansive spirituality. So we're going to ask that you take a look at the screen that you have there, and please click on the link there. There'll be a link that I'm going to put in the chat right now for our first-time visitors form. You can hold your phone up to the screen that you see in front of you, scan that QR code, because that QR code will lead you to a form, and we can get a little bit of information that we do not share publicly. We can send it to you if you got a request for a prayer. We call prayer pouring energy into realignment toward manifestation at Infinity Fellowship, also known as a perm. We got a space where you can request that as well. So we're excited that you're going to be with us in a powerful way one day in person. But in the meantime, go ahead and fill out that form. We also, again, we'll put that same link in the chat for the visitors form. And that way we can send you a card and just let you know that we are thinking about you. At Infinity, we don't see you today as a human being who showed up to have a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. You are a spirit navigating the human experience just like the rest of us. And so we love to turn to you when you're in person on First Sunday. I hope I see those of you who've been saying, oh man, I'm going to get to Infinity one day. I was at the Y the other day and two guys were like, man, we've been watching. We've been trying to get there. I was like, First Sunday. Come and see us First Sunday. So this first Sunday in May, we're looking forward to welcoming all of you. Either way, imagine that there are people all over the world who are taking a deep breath right now with me, letting go, and they are extending their hands toward you. If you got your family and they're running around, go ahead and grab them and say, come here, I got something to tell you. If you're a first-time visitor, I want you to just type it in the box at some point in the service today. Let us know how you like the service, how you feel about the service. And in the meantime, we're going to say our visitors welcome to you. And imagine that as I say this, people are repeating this with enthusiasm all around the world. All right, we say it every Sunday, but it's sometime new. It's something new every time we say it. Are you ready? All right, let's say it. I see you, but you don't hear me though. I really see the real you. I see who you are. You are a divine manifestation of God's creation. I see what you are. You are a spirit. You're more than what's on the outside. You are a gift to me and the entire world. I see where you are. You're right here in front of me, where I can let you know that you're not alone. I'm with you. We're with you. and you are at home. I see when you are. You're in the right now, baby. You're so much more than your yesterday. I see why you are. You're here to learn, to grow, to embrace your dreams, and to celebrate your divine destiny. I know all this because I'm here to do the same thing. So we're going to help each other out. All right? I know the real you, and I see you shining today. I feel you shining today. I know you're shining today. So welcome to infinity. Welcome home. I say, oh, everybody take a moment. Get up and stretch and dance. Hey, party out now. Let it go. Just shake your hands. Just wave your arms. Or just stomp your feet to the good beat. Hey, oh yeah, gonna jam today. We're so grateful for our visitors who opened the way. Hey, yeah, hey, hey. People say, do you sing, do you dance, do you do? I say, yes. Yes, we do. We have a great time. We have a great time doing that. And here at Infinity, we do too. So first timers, if you say you're a first timer in the box today, in the chat box, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on X, whether you are on Facebook or Facebook too, wherever you are, somebody's just going to shower you with some love hearts and some high fives. And we're going to make sure that you know that you're absolutely welcome and you're at home. Thanks for stopping by. I got a lot of great stuff happening today during service, and we're excited to welcome you in. Guess what time it is at Infinity, y'all? It is offering time. I got to get some DJ sounds and load them into the box. This is our time when we celebrate because we're really happy. Offering time is action time at the Infinity Fellowship. It is the time when we pour back into the space that provides us with family, that provides us with community, that provides us with understanding, that provides us with spiritual food. And we know that those of us who have been on the path, or those of you who have been on this path of discovery and have understood the power in giving, I congratulate you. I get to get your stories all the time on how miraculous things happen and doors open for you and unexpected things landed on your doorstep. It's not because it was magic. It was because you have been practicing the gift of giving. That is a gift itself because it is a gift we are given that puts us in a frequency vibration to receive. If you're a person who operates in lack and you all say, well, one day when I make it, I'm going to do this. Well, you're making it now. If you're breathing, you're making it. If you're paying the bills, you're making it. And reserving some percentage of what you receive in and putting it back into the space where you receive your spiritual food, it opens up that flow of back and forth. It says to the universe, I'm a giver. And we all know the old saying was, you can't beat God given, no matter how you try. This whole month, my heart's been singing a lot more. And it's because I recognize that we're grateful. And if you travel in circles the way Lady Kenitha and I have just over the last couple of days, we've been to a ceremony, an end of life memorial ceremony and celebration for somebody in their 40s. We've been to one yesterday for somebody who's 21 years old. Today is the gift. Tomorrow is not promised. So we want you to be in a giving spirit of recognition of what we already have received. And so those of you who have been practicing that faithful tithing of saying, hey, 10% of what I get goes back into the space and I'm seeing much more, congratulations, you're seeing it. When people ask me what puts you in a spirit of giving, I say that and more. Offering, your heart is moved to give something today, to contribute to this space, to be a partner with us in growing and expanding the way we do. Guess what? This is your opportunity as well. So I want you to center your mind. I want you to center your consciousness. And I want you to center your giving device, as I am, to open up your platforms. We have PayPal, We also have Cash App, and we also have a mailbox that you can send it to, 641 West Nocturne Drive. We also remind you that Infinity is a church, religious organization. We are a spiritual center, which means we're also a tax-exempt organization. So everything that you give also comes back to you, not just from the universe, not just from God, but from the IRS. And that's always kind of cool, too, at the end of the year, especially in this world we live in. So we're grateful to continue to build from a true community space. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Focus our energy on our offertory affirmation, because we don't want to just give without divine consciousness attached to it. So wherever you are in the world, stand to your feet if you're able to. Place your hands over your heart or your device. And let's say together our awesome, arm-tested, time-tested giving affirmation at infinity. O limitless, abundant Creator, source of everything I possess, you have given me the gifts of life, breath, and creativity. You continue to provide for me without judgment or preference. And so I freely return these gifts to you with my whole heart, mind, and intention, knowing that as I give freely with both remembrance and gratitude, the circle of abundance will be unbroken. And so it is. Come on, y'all. We sing when we give, and we sing everything is good. Come on. Let's hear it.
Everything is good. Everything is good. Yeah. Everything is good. Yeah. Everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, yeah. Hey. Everything is good. Yes. Everything is good. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Come on and tell yourself everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. And I've got it. Woo! I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I've got it. I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Come on and affirm it. Hey, everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, it is. Everything is good. Oh, everything is good. And I've got it. Ooh, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Oh, I've got it good. I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Yes, we've got it good. I've got it. Hey, I've got it. Oh, I've got it good. Oh, I've got it so good. Woo! Woo! We got it good.
Yes, 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 yes. So we continue to give like that. It's wonderful to see the action that goes into the space here, the abundance that goes into the space here. And we get to see that in a lot of manifestations, including Standing Ovation. So look, I'm going to drop into the link one more time. This is your last call, if you will, in the link to click on the Standing Ovations form so that we can get your Standing Ovation reported today. If we miss you this time, we'll just have to catch you for Sunday, because that's the next time we have our Standing Ovations coming up. Welcome to 2024, y'all, the year of divine reciprocity. Excuse me. That coffee, I'm just drinking just that coffee. Coffee got a little kick today. I still got some of that Cafe du Monde in there. One definition of reciprocity is the equal exchange of or interchange. The law of attraction teaches us, y'all, that what we put into the universe is attracted to us. So we're excited to invite you to empower yourself continually by speaking aloud our daily mantra for the year down there on the left. I am that I am. I give, I get. I've got it good. Let's say that again together. I am that I am. I give, I get, I got it good. Awesome. Before we get to standing ovations, briefly, in terms of our services going forward, as our services going forward, we remind you that we have first Sunday in person. All of the Sundays are indeed virtual. So first Sunday, we've got our wonderful gathering. Our next one is Sunday, May 5th. We're going to be recognizing some new members. We're going to be giving out some pre-Mother's Day gifts. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So we invite you to plan to be here. Come wherever you come from on first Sunday. There's nothing like an in-person experience at the Infinity Fellowship, y'all. Y'all know that. On virtual Sundays, including second Sunday, third Sunday today, and fourth Sunday next Sunday, that's when we're in the virtual space on what we call our Infinite Life Stream. I want to congratulate and say thanks to all of you who watch our Infinite Life Stream, especially those who watch it live, like right now, because you're pausing in your day in your Sunday once a week to say spirituality and spiritual growth and development is important to me, and that's great. I also send a secondary shout out to everybody who watches us on the replay. You get to participate in spiritual food eating in the replay as well, and for the many people around the world who are co-members, they go to church one place, then they come to Infinity, get a boost, to spiritual leaders and pastors who also watch, who I run into, and they say, I catch you sometimes. I'm like, that's awesome, and I do the same. So love for all of you all. That's what spirituality is about. It's not competition. There's enough for each and every one of us. We want to remind you, speaking of spirituality, that next week is Yoga Sunday. Yes, Yoga Sunday is in the house, and it is virtual as well. So we want you to pull your mats out at home. We want you to get yourself in the stretching position, roll out something on the floor, and listen. Yoga Sunday is for all levels. And much of this year, we have been focusing on restorative practices. So I want you next Sunday to put your sofa pillows, your bed pillows, your bedspreads, your mats, your blocks, your books, put everything around you and meet me on the mat. Meet us here at Infinity Fellowship's Infinite Life Stream. And we're going to hold some long poses for restoration and release of stress. So this restorative practice is for everyone. You don't have to worry about being overly athletic. We're not going to bend backward into wheel. We're just going to get some energy into that. Next thing I want to remind all Infinity members, current members, and those of you who are coming, is every Wednesday night we have Love and Light. Do not miss this opportunity to fellowship with your fellow Infinity members. Once you join the Infinity Fellowship and get access to the Band app, there are a ton of resources in that app. And one of our most valuable resources come from the Linsleys, Tyrell, and Tashana. They are there every single Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, to be a support, to talk about the themes of Infinity that we learn on Sunday, and to just gather in a wonderful place. Wednesday night is always popping, and we congratulate everyone who has made a commitment to show up in that space and have a conversation. Drop by and have a conversation on Wednesday night and get that love energy that keeps you going, and that light energy as well. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I am pleased to announce that it is time for Standing Ovations.
Tune your vibration to a high elevation. It's time for the good news, our standing ovation.
Yes.
Our high energy, here it is, comes from our practice of snap. It's why we snap our fingers during this part of the service. We receive practical lessons and tools for our individual journeys. That's spirituality. We fellowship with like-minded spirits every week. That's nurturing. We take what we learn and apply it in our lives. That's action. And if we do these things, then every week we see examples of progress in our lives. And
what's that?
that's the proof.
Proof.
So
We wanna see
let
this.
us pause to enjoy a collective moment of manifestation and expansion. So when your name is called, please stand as I read aloud each person's ovations. At the very end, we are going to celebrate and affirm by doing a collective standing ovation.
Yes, we are.
Sounds about right.
It sounds
and yes,
about
you
right.
can stand up at home.
Yes, please
Yay.
stand up.
We can
Please
feel
stand
the
up.
energy.
Stand up, definitely. Okay, so today is, yes, I'm going to get everybody started. Boom. Yes. I love it. Here we go. All right, if you're at home, I want you to stand up when I call your name. Nikita Thomas. Unless you're driving, Keita, don't stand up. If you're driving, just roll down the window a little bit, put your hand up, and just throw the church finger up so we can celebrate you. Nikita says, my book, I Can and I Will, continues to be available on Amazon.com, and now it is also available at the Alkebulan Images Bookstore, Nashville's historic bookstore.
Oh my
Now it's stocking I Can and I Will.
Oh my goodness!
Manifestation.
Oh my goodness!
Y'all better go get that.
Yes,
We
we're
got
on
some
our way.
announcements
New
coming
York
up about that
Times
too the next
bestseller.
few
Come
weeks.
on now.
Yes, we headed toward the bestseller list. All right, we have Dante Jacobs.
Hi,
Dante, stand up wherever you are. I am now hosting my very first mentorship event at a local elementary school in Houston, Texas, where me and some next level speakers are going to be volunteering to pick up trash, assist with recess, reading, and anything the school needs. Come on with that stepping up for community service. Oh, yes, we have Talia Lindsley. Stand on up, Talia. Wave right there. Oh, yeah. We see that smile. We see those cheeks. We can feel you. Oh, Talia is proud to announce.
Come on, Talia.
I got all A's and made honor roll.
Yes! That's how you do it.
Cotton
Super
candy,
smart.
sweet and roll. You better make that honor roll
Hey!
to the left. Hey.
Well, that's not to the left. You just
It's
went there.
I went to the right, but it's the screen left. So they saw us go to the left. How about that
look at
part?
you.
How about that part?
I was like, that's not.
How about that part?
But that's all right.
That's all right.
I like
We got to
that.
think about the people. You know, when you're teaching yoga, you mirror.
Yes.
You say to the right, and you're actually going to the left, so that people say, "Oh, it's to the
Okay.
right."
Okay.
We'll see next Sunday. Meet you on that. Meet me on that mat. Meet me on that mat.
Yes, go to Leah.
Next, we have DeAndre Thomas.
Hey,
I'm proud of you, man.
Woo, we're so proud of you.
DeAndre says, I am graduating
Woo!
from MTSU May 4th with a bachelor's degree in audio engineering. I am also featured in an article that is available to read on our Band app. Yes.
Oh,
Band app, folks, we got a thread called Member Accomplishments. Make sure you're in that room. Make sure you post it there so we can all read. DeAndre, man, you grew up on
college
us.
graduate. Come
College
on
graduate.
now.
We talking about it. Come on in the
Come on,
room.
Dre.
All right, we got
Yes.
Taylor Lindsley. Stand on
Hi,
up.
Taylor.
Taylor, not to be outdone in the family.
Woo. Hi, Tink Tink.
I made honor roll and went to the ceremony.
Yes, with the grades.
Y'all send them, man, these great grades. Y'all send them a shout out in the chat. Send them some love and congratulations.
Taylor.
We got
Go, Taylor.
Shabazz Ujima. Stand up, brother Shabazz, or wave wherever you are.
Woo.
So many great things I can't count.
Yes.
I'm thankful to create, collaborate, and connect with Thea Jones on many wonderful and impactful projects throughout Nashville.
Yes.
Shackle Feet Dance Company is making moves here in the city of Nashville.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Seeing recent recognition for all of that. We love that manifestation.
Yes. Go, Shabazz.
Speaking of, Thea Jones, stand on up, Thea. Thea probably
Thea,
standing
Thea,
up and
Thea,
twirling
Thea,
around.
Thea,
You know, she's going to do that. 'Cause she's a diva
Yes.
in a wonderful way.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was the keynote speaker for Springfield, Tennessee's annual Arts Gala. Come on, keynote speaker. This was my first speaking invitation ever. I was asked to tell my story while integrating and synthesizing the power of the arts, cultural intersections, partnerships, and community in front of 300 people.
Oh my goodness.
I received, of course, as we know you will, we received great feedback from attendees. I am so proud of myself.
Yes,
Keynote speaker.
Man.
All right, good.
That's what I'm talking about. They're doing their thing in the arts realm.
Man, it's coming. Shay Brown. Shay, hey. Trey and I both have been placed in a positive and uplifting work environment here in Vermont. They moved to Vermont.
But it's good, but it's okay.
Arizona to Nashville to Vermont.
Goodness.
But we're happy. Grateful for the co-workers who have helped us settle in our new home here in Vermont.
Come on,
I
Vermont.
love it.
Yeah.
Come on, we know it's gonna happen.
Shay and Trey.
Trey's gonna be Shay and Trey, and they're doing the doggone thing. Okay, that's what we got here on this end.
Yes.
So,
And I had a
yes,
standing ovation.
You got a standing ovation?
It's for Carmen. Carmen
Ridley.
she actually she sang her own music at a venue in New York. And so she's still doing that thing. She's out there doing the doggone thing. Go, Carmen.
Carmen.
That's our
I
baby.
was trying to find the
She's got a
venue, type
graduation
it in
coming,
there.
yes.
But she's also got a graduation coming out. So I expect to see that standing ovation for Carmen. But Carmen did a show in a venue in New York City.
And
she
her own
sang,
music.
And her own music, y'all.
Yes.
So y'all better get with these folks who are coming out here doing great things.
Yes.
So tell us what we do, y'all.
Okay, so if you shared, I want you to have several seats while the rest of us around the world are going to stand to our feet and give a thunderous standing ovation, okay? Here we go. So exciting.
Yes.
Woo.
So amazing to be. I'm feeling it all today. We are getting. I'm going to turn your attention to today's meditation as we prepare for our conversation. Our conversation today is all about manifesting. We are on a powerful journey toward manifesting, not just for ourselves, but for 7 generations coming forward. And it requires a shift. And so today's meditation comes to us from the business world, from an accomplished business leader by the name of Warren Buffett. Pointed out something that I want you to consider and think about spiritually. Warren Buffett said, should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. That'll preach right there. Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. Somebody in the chat needs to say, "Get out the boat." Get out the boat. Somebody said, "Get out that boat." Change your boat, because if you change your boat, then you're going to not be dealing with the chronic leaks. And so it is, so it is, so it is. We're going to sing a little bit because that's how we introduce and open up If Teaches. I invite you around the world, wherever you are, to come on and take a deep breath with me. And let's start that song that we sing every week. Lady Kenitha's here with me. And you know this is an old one, Lady Kenitha, but it's a good one.
It's a good one.
Because it puts us in the mind frame. that we need to. That mind frame is to transcend. And when we transcend, we take our minds to another space. That is a land of higher consciousness. It is the true space of heaven, the highest point on the body, the crown chakra, the energy of light, life, and universal wisdom that comes into, ascends into the body on a third Sunday, like If teaches. We also, in singing this song, preserve the old traditions, the faith and the understanding that everything is going to be all right. The people who went through unimaginable circumstances emerged unscathed because they knew that everything was going to be all right. So join with me as we begin the song. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land. Come and go to that land where I'm bound. Oh, there is peace in that land. There is peace in that land. Come to us. There is peace in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There is peace in that land. There is peace in that land. There is peace in that land where I'm bound. Oh, I got a mother in that land. I got a mother in that land. I got a mother in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. I got a mother in that land. I got a mother in that land. I've got a mother in that land where I'm bound. Oh, I got a father in that land. I got a father in that land. Come on, I got a father in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Oh, I got a father in that land. I got a father in that land. Oh, I got a father in that land where I'm bound. Oh, all of my people are in that land. All of my people are in that land. Oh, all of my people are in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. I said all of my people are in that land. All of my people are in that land. All of my people are in that land where I'm bound. Oh, there is peace in that land. There is peace in that land. There is peace in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. You know, there is peace in that land. There is peace in that land. There is peace in that land where I'm bound. Oh, don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound? Don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land? Don't you wanna go to that land where I'm bound? Well, all right there, Lady Kaneetha. And all right, are y'all all right at home? All right, I can hear y'all. Y'all say y'all are all right. Y'all are all right. So we're in this space where we get a chance to connect here in this place. I'm going to connect in here and make sure that I've got everything here with our screen share going. And we'll hit the full screen, and I'm going to make sure that that comes up. As long as it's coming at home, I'm not even going to be on this right now. So y'all pardon me if I've had any misdirection in terms of getting this thing started. We've got a few moving parts today. And so thank you, Tech Crew, for rolling along with me as we are navigating it, and we are getting into a space where we're clear about how everything lines up. And if I need to cut something, on the slide, or if I need to reboot it again to make sure it gets to the full screen, Tony on the computer, let me know. I know it's right here. The camera's on me right now, so we want to make sure that we got that. Is it clear? Matter of fact, I'm going to stop the screen share, Tony, and we'll go ahead and just boot it again just to see if we can get that going. How about that? That'll be a nice thing. So thank y'all for your patience at home. Y'all know this is If Teaches Sunday. So we're going to keep things going in a brand new way to make sure we can get everything that we need. Yes, I think we're awesome. We're going to work on it. We're going to present the full screen and let's see how that goes. All right, so y'all, we are at If Teaches. And one way or another, we're going to get this lesson out because the universe is ready for it to happen. I'm going to switch over, Daniel, to my lavalier microphone. Let me know when I'm on. And I believe I am. How about that part? We working this technology today, y'all. Yes, we're working everything we need to. We're excited, though, today because I want you to get your journals out. I want to get everything that you need to get ready for today, because we got a wonderful opportunity. We got a wonderful opportunity to talk around this 7 generations concept that we've been talking about. And for those of you who may be new, if this is your first time at Infinity Fellowship, the concept is powerful. 7 generations. So whether you're talking about the Haudenosaunee people, Iroquois, whether you're talking about Dakota Sioux, whether you're talking about other ancient traditions that we can pull from, the concept is really simple. That when we heal ourselves, we heal 7 generations into the future for sustainability. We also heal 7 generations in the past. So how beautiful is that? For those of us who have dealt with trauma, we know that trauma in epigenetics is passed down through your DNA. We know that addiction is passed down during and through your DNA. We also know that healthy cells, if they're equal, if one's put in a negative environment, it will take on the environment there. If it's placed in a positive environment, it will take on the environment there. Like energy will attract like energy, but we also know that everything is about environment, and healing is about environment too. Environmental healing down to the molecular structure. So today, y'all, in this moment, I want us to understand a very important and vital part of healing, and that is understanding what mixes and what does not. What mixes and what does not. So when we talk about what mixes and what does not, I've got some components here on the table. And they're here on the table, and they'll give me a thumbs up in the back if everybody can see these components. Can you see them all clearly on stage? Thank you, Tony. And what we have here, Lady Kaneetha, on my right, which might be your left, yes, to my right, your left, that is oil. This is particularly olive oil. And olive oil is so wonderful. If you cook with olive oil, or if you use olive oil in recipes, I want you to say yes. Give me a yes in the chat. Say yes, olive oil. Say yes, olive oil. Say it's good for my soul. If you've been in spiritual community, consecration can take place. As a spiritual leader, I can consecrate this oil, and I can anoint your head with this oil. It's got powerful principles, spiritual principles, especially olive oil, because olive oil is naturally derived. It's not like some of these processed byproduct oils. It derives from a natural product, and it's very, very good. You could also put this on your body a little bit. Get rid of, if you've been in the old neighborhood, Get rid of that crusty crustationness.
That ashiness.
That ashiness that you have there, that ashiness can be very fascinating. You also can do any number. Oil, if you use other kinds of oil, it can be used to lubricate. For those of you who are in the chat, I can't see you yet because I'm on the other side of the room, but I want you to chat some of the great things that you get from oil, that you use oil for. It could be anointing oil, it can be cooking oil, it can be lubrication oil, it can be anything. But I want you to put in the chat some wonderful things, wonderful uses for this beautiful fluid that we know that is a dense fluid called oil. Isn't the oil great? I want somebody to say in the chat, oil is good. Oil ain't oil good. Don't you think oil is good, Lady Camille?
Oil is good.
Oil is good. I'm going to tell y'all at home, oil is good. Don't let anybody tell you that oil is good. Now I'm going to show you something else that is good. Over here on the opposite side, my left, most likely, your right. This is water, also known as agua. In many languages, it's the fluid of life. Our body is 2/3 made up of this liquid right here, very light combination H2O. Right, you're a chemical person there, Lady Kanitha. So this H2O is absolutely awesome. It's so awesome, I want to take a sip out of it. It comes in different varieties. You can get natural spring water.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Alkaline.
You can get alkaline water. You can get spring water. Whereas as a kid, we used to call it spring water when you spring onto the side porch from running around outside, but it really was tap water. It was also hose water. Cumberland Punch if you live in Nashville. Mississippi Punch if you live anywhere that is. You got river water. You got ocean water. Water is a vehicle of life. And listen, this planet is over 2/3 water. So you need water to survive. Your body is primarily water. So you need this water to thrive and survive. Somebody in the chat, you can put some other uses to water. You can put water in your radiator if you need to make it. You can use water to wash your car, your vehicles. You take a bath, hopefully, in water. You take a shower, preferably in water.
Praise God for it.
We praise God for water with some soap. Yes, with some soap or your other natural concoction that gets you clean, right? We use water for a lot. Somebody can throw some uses of water in the chat, and I would appreciate it because it lets us know that everything is all right. It lets us know that everything is clean and clear. So listen, we want to go through this conversation on water, and we're going to make sure that we look at these components here. So come on back to the glasses because I want us to have an understanding. The first thing that we understand is that oil is good, right?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody say oil is good.
Oil is good.
All the time.
All the time.
And all the time,
And all the time.
oil is good.
Oil is good.
Let's say that. Now, let's say this right here. Water. Water is good.
Water is good.
And water's good all the time.
Water's good all the time.
And all the time, water's good.
All the time, water is good.
That's the truth, isn't it? That's the truth. I love it. I want to say one thing, that these two things are separate. When we try to put them together, these are two good things, aren't they? We said that. Now, I'm going to take some really good water, or matter of fact, I'm going to take some really good oil, and I'm going to put it in this glass. Isn't it beautiful? Just comes out caramelly. Just it's so beautiful. It's kind of like honey. Olive oil, so it's like honey. It's just so beautiful. That is the oil. And now, because I want everybody to be together, I want all of humanity to be blended. I want all concepts to come together in alignment. I want everything hand in hand. I want everything so perfect. I'm going to add this wonderful good water. Is water good?
Water is good.
Is oil good?
Oil is good.
All right, well, let's put these two good things together and see what happens. Come on, water. Come on, oil. Come on, water. Come on, oil. Come on, water. Come on, oil. Come on, good water. Come on, good oil. My goodness, what do we notice? That even though you have two good components, because they are different in their density and molecular composition, they don't mix. Oil and water don't mix. The first point that comes out of this spiritually is that no matter how you try to mix thoughts, energies, and actions, if they are not in alignment on a molecular level, they will not come together successfully. No matter how hard you try to mix thoughts, energies, and actions, if they are not in alignment, this is the alignment piece at a molecular level, they will not come together successfully. What are the things that you are trying to bring together in your life? What are the things that you are trying to keep in your life that seem to not be able to mix together, but they seem to be good, but they're not in alignment? This is a deep question that I want you to ask, not today, but also for the rest of this week, because if they are not in alignment with one another, they will not mix. But I'm going to tell you, because what do we do? What do we do in this space when we say we want the mix to happen? Because we get, coming back to the glasses, we get that we want the good oil to be mixed with the good water. That we want our people who we just grew up with because they were good people, we want them to be in our lives right now, although they may not fit, they may not work. We want our dreams to kind of work. So what do? We start to slow stirring, and slow stirring represents hope. We hope that we can continue to do the same old things we were doing, and it's going to mix well with the things that we know we need to be doing that may be different. We're going to try to hold on to our old concepts that do not serve us in the right now anyway, but we're just going to keep moving and hope that one day they're going to come together. If you look at this glass, is that working? Sometimes, we think, because slow stirring in places where things do not mix represents hope. And we just hope that one day it's going to happen, and we just keep on moving, and we never take the time to realize that it's just not mixing. Then the second thing we try to do is we try to shake it. Because shaking means that we go to extremes. When you start exercising, instead of starting off in degrees, you start with extremes. And you say, I'm going hard. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm going to take 2 shakes a day for the next 30 days. I'm going to work out 4 hours. I'm going to go hard because I have a concept of myself that is not around good health, but it's about me trying to shake myself out of past self-doubts. And all of those things that are happening, it's violently happening, and we are never taking the time to see that we're still not integrating the good things into our lives. If you are not aligning your thoughts with your actions, I'm going to take it simple. If you are not aligning in a new way the new practices that you have, and you are not putting them in alignment with action and consistency, you are trying to slow mix or violently mix two things that cannot stay. A new set of actions with an old mentality. What do you mean, Reverend Jeff? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm glad you asked. It's taking affirmations and writing them, putting them on a piece of paper and putting them by the mirror and saying them out loud every day, but not walking and acting along in alignment with those affirmations. It's that deep-seated thought that was programmed into you, that told you that you were not beautiful, that told you that you were not enough, that told you you would never reach your dreams. If you have that in your mind, those affirmations are not going to take root. Because your mind is the oil, the affirmation is the water, and it's not mixing. You've got to get those water thoughts to mix with the water affirmations and the water affirmations with the actions. It's all got to come together. Let me tell you something that we also do, coming back to the glasses. One thing that we do is we try to blend everything. And we say, if we ain't working fast enough, we could just, all we got to do is, I'm not stirring fast enough, so we're going to blend it. Oh, look at that. And when you blend it, baby, look at it. When you blend it, look, it's coming together. It is coming together when we blend it. I almost spill everything on this table because you got to blend it. I'm just tapping it with a blender. Oh, look at it. It's no longer caramel. It's no longer clear. It's a beautiful blend of both. This is what is represented by busyness. And I don't mean business, I mean busyness. Instead of making a change, we try to distract ourselves by blending things quickly. So we're staying so busy in the world. We're staying on the grind so much that we don't notice that we're not in alignment. So it's a distraction. Let me find people who are going to tell me how cute I am. Let me just read through a bunch of magazines and try to distract myself. Let me binge watch every program that I can. Let me do everything necessary to not remind me that this isn't happening. That's the agitation that you got. And the reason why you're feeling agitated about your life is because you're too busy trying to make things mix and fit that are not supposed to be together in the first time. The fast-paced life of blending. And the beautiful thing is, eventually, just like this blender will run out of batteries, what will end up happening, and this is the test of alignment, will end up happening when it settles again. If you'll notice, the oil is coming right back to the top. The water is settling at the bottom. And living a fast-paced life is not going to help you. It's not going to help you because when you sit still, everything eventually comes into its own alignment. And you get to see those things that are working for you and those things that are not. The second point that I want to give you for today is that you need to ask yourself when assessing or considering a situation or approaching, I changed it on my other document. Ask yourself when assessing or approaching a situation if things are toxic or if things are simply misaligned. We use this a lot. Toxicity. What is this toxicity? And when we talk about toxicity, we say a lot of times, you know, I'm in a toxic relationship. I was in a toxic relationship. And it's true, we may be. I'm not minimizing the toxicity that happens in relationships because it's important that we acknowledge when somebody's doing something harmful or hurtful. That is toxic behavior. When there is ism of any kind, sexism, racism, that's toxic in every kind. But sometimes you have the case that you have with these glasses that I go back to now. You got good person here, you got good person there, but they just don't mix. Yes. No matter how hard you try, they just don't mix. And the reason why is because they have different sets of values, different ways of looking at the world. They have different ways of valuing things like education, different things like valuing spirituality, and you're trying so hard to mix it. You're trying so hard to make sure this works, and then you end up attacking each other. You end up attacking people and using this word toxic. You say, oh, they were toxic. I had to get them out of their life. Were they toxic? Or did you you were not a compatible match for each other? Is your job toxic? Is your job toxic? Or is your job not a good mix? It's not in alignment because you know it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Don't go out there and tell somebody tomorrow, I'm quitting my job because Rev Jeff said it ain't in alignment. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you to spend some time in meditation and ask yourself, with the premise that life is short, if you're willing to continue to be excellent at something that you don't like. Something that makes you come home and attack your family members with rage and frustration. Something that makes you close your mouth when you see injustices in a work environment, but then come to community and come to other places and attack what everything else is with other people that is not going well in your opinion. That's misalignment. This is the text. This is oil and water. Can you dare put yourself in a position where you are aligning your mind and your spirit and your purpose with what you are doing in the world and what you are contributing? Felt so good to hear that the investment of time and energy on our young people results in straight A's and honor rolls. I'm pulling from Standing Ovation's real time that the investment in art and being at the forefront of community outreach will manifest for Sister Thea as speaking engagements in front of hundreds of people, although you've never done it before. It's manifestation. It's alignment. Those people were oil to oil and water to water. To hear what's happening, that now a book that was on Amazon that was published by Sister Keita can now be available at a brick and mortar bookstore that is historic. That is oil and oil, water and water. That is alignment. And if you're watching this, if you're a part of this, if you're in this infinite life stream, you can be in alignment too. Because the next generation coming up deserves for you to be in alignment. Lady Kenitha, when we talk about relationships and alignment, what immediately comes to mind for you about people that may just be good people? Oh, good people.
It's the I keep seeing that the pulling away, and then we keep trying to force it to happen. I thought about a situation. I was trying to get this relationship going with this guy, and I was trying everything in my power to make it work. Okay. And he just he wasn't getting me on it. He wasn't with me. And I was like, no, we're a good match. Like, this makes sense. We went to school together. Like, this should work out. And one day he said, we were outside and he was like, Kenitha, stop. And I was like, what? He was like, do you know who you are? And I was like, what? He was like, you're Kenitha. Like in school, you were Kenitha. He was like, we are not a good match. You should be finding someone else. I should be finding someone else. We're just not a good match. And when I left, of course, my feelings were hurt because I was trying to make that thing work. Of
course.
But the universe was actually putting something in the way to make it real, that there was this pulling away. I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt like, but it needed to happen because we weren't on the same frequency anyway. How
about that?
Right? So he was able to find his person. I was able to find my person. Now, if we had tried to make that thing happen, this would have occurred, right? And our separate energies of these divine purposes.
Yes.
Because I see that water as divine. There's a divine purpose that happens with water. We talked about, everybody wrote in its purpose, what it can be used for. It can do all of these great things. It has a divine purpose. The oil has a divine purpose.
Yes.
But then when you're putting those together, it gets muddled. So what purpose is this? You can't drink this anymore. You can't use it for your hair.
There it is. Talk about that.
You can't use all the tools. You can't cook with. What you gonna do with this?
Come on now.
But the same frequencies. So you've got the oil that matches with the oil.
Yes.
And you've got the water that matches with the water.
Yes.
Oh my, we're on divine purpose now.
Come on.
We're on divine purpose. Sometimes we look at our lives and we feel like that pulling away when we lose a job, when we lose a relationship, when we lose that connection, we lose a family member that we loved, and we don't know why. Why is this happening? It's happening because there is something better going on. There is something that needed to happen. There was some type of healing that needed to take its course. And we've got to get to a point where we're not afraid.
That's right. That's right.
Afraid to be working in our frequency, on our divine purpose, even when things don't work out.
Yes.
Because if we push it,
Yes.
if we try to stay on that job that you already see the signs, or they went ahead and fired you, but you're still talking about that same job, and you're not opening yourself to the new opportunities, you're
Yes.
still, this thing becomes muddled.
Come on, Key. Come on, Kenise. Come on. Come on.
So that's what I look at. I'm so glad that that guy said that to me. I am so glad that happened, because I wouldn't have met my person, because I wouldn't have been on my purpose. Same frequency. Same frequency. Because otherwise, you're going to get that muddled mess.
Come on with that muddled mess now. Come on with that muddled mess. And I'm going to stay on these glasses, because this is important, y'all. And I can't wait to see what's in the chat, because I know y'all are just going in on the chat in a powerful way. I'm going to go ahead and get Tony to use the chat view so y'all can see what people are saying to each other on that screen. At the same time, for the rest of this message, we're going to bring you up here. But you look at these glasses, this reminds me of something that was taught in the 60s, but it's also powerful because you already said it, Lady Kenitha. When you put two things that do not match together and try to make them work, they each lose the good component parts.
Yes.
You can't cook with this.
You can't do it.
You can't put that. You can't put that oil in a skillet.
No, you can't put that in your car anymore with the
Yep.
when you said the water.
With
Put that in.
And this is what's called, for those of you who don't know, this is called emulsification. Scientifically, emulsification comes when two objects, one object has a more dense structure than the other, in this case oil, than water. The molecules just cannot bond. So what happens is the water is lighter, so it ends up floating the oil to the top of the surface, creating a barrier. But guess what? You can't cook with that weak olive oil. You can't put that on your spaghetti. You can't put that on a piece of bread at a restaurant with some pepper and some butter and just, oh Lord, I'm getting hungry. But guess what? If you get thirsty, you can't put a straw through that and drink this water, because it's no more good as water. It's tainted. The water has been tainted. The oil has been diminished, and now neither one of them are good for each other. You see this in places. Let me say this. You see this in places where you ever been, and I'm talking a lot to the men out there, because the men out here, you understand it. You've been in a place where you feel like you had to go somewhere on Sundays because it was something to do, because you just wanted to keep the family quiet, and you needed to feel like you had to just do this out of obligation, because it was the good thing to do. But you sat there and played on your phone, or sat there and went to sleep, or you sat there and complained about it and couldn't wait to get through to go back to the football game because you didn't get anything out of it. And then as a result, you couldn't even absorb principles that help you be a better person in life. Yeah, that's how it happens. Because you're putting yourself in a position where you're not in alignment. That's why I love when people come to this space and bring your family, you bring your kids. You're like, listen, we're in alignment here. We can talk honestly. We can have Q&A. We can have this kind of alignment here in a space that allows my family to grow. Have you ever been in a relationship where you had to make a list? You go to my Remarkable, because we talk about this. We talk about this space of ego, right? Because we're still on this space of toxicity. We talk about ego. This ego does some dangerous things. That ego will make us hang on. And we'll hang on to things to our detriment because of our ego. Why? Because we made a commitment. Most of the time we didn't make a commitment. We just said something publicly. We made a proclamation, and we don't want to go back on it. We also hang on to things longer than we need them, even when they're hurting us, just because of our doggone ego. God is speaking to you. And by God, I'm going to universalize this and just say that what we say here, good, orderly direction. Good, orderly direction is speaking to you, and you have a problem hearing it because you want to go right back to your ego. And what your ego has done is it is emulsified and put you out of alignment with reality. The second thing we do when we have ego, and this is where toxicity comes into it, we begin to villainize. And we make people the villain. We chose not to connect. We chose not to be honest. We chose to pretend. We chose not to be authentic. We chose all of these things. And as a result of choosing all of these things, we have a relationship that broke down, whether that's personal, whether it's at work, whatever it may be. We had a relationship that broke down. And we had the nerve then to villainize people. I've had some amazing relationships in my life. They have been atomic and dynamic, baby. They have been nuclear, baby. And I mean, in the possible alignment space, oh yeah, they could take you to the moon and back. But because they were not in alignment space, they had the opposite side of nuclear energy, which meant that everything for miles around was threatened with fallout and being blown up in shock waves because we were just not a match. We're not in alignment. My immediate ego was to throw people under the bus. What happened with you and fill in the blank? Oh man, it was a toxic relationship. She wasn't this and she wasn't that. And I list everything that they did. You ever been around people, you talk about relationship don't work? And they give you the laundry list of what was wrong with the other person? I'm going to give a self-check here, and I'm going to check everybody here in the space. We're going to check each other together. Listen to this. Because this was taught to me by a person who I was dating once, but it wasn't going to work out. So they were great to tell me this is not going to work out. We're going to be best friends. We're going to be best as friends, rather. This is my best friend. We say we're going to be best as friends. And I loved it because we talked about relationships. And I want you to think about relationships. If you're struggling with personal relationships and interpersonal relationships, I want you to go to the checklist. Checklist. What are the things you have in common? These people have in common. And I would go through the toxicity checklist. Oh, they're brash. Oh, they're a little bit wild, but they're adventurous. Oh, they're a certain kind of look. They have a certain kind of energy. They have a great spirit. They're fearless, but they also, they fight all the time, and they always want to provoke, and they get physical. They throw stuff across the room. And all of these characteristics, do an inventory as you're testing your alignment today, because this is going to go beyond if teaches. This is going to go into your daily life, because you're going to meditate on this lesson. You're going to meditate on these glasses too. But ask yourself, as I had to ask myself, and if you know the answer, go ahead and type it in the chat box. What do all of these people previously who were toxic in your life have in common? And if I start hearing, oh, they have a particular spiritual perspective, or they're a personal height, or they're people who don't have a mom or a dad, those are the wrong answers. And if you haven't typed it in the chat already, I'm going to give you the answer. If you have a string of broken relationships and there are similar characteristics, the one thing that they have in common is you. You are the one thing that they have in common. Somebody need to give me a my Lord, an ashe, an amen, something in there. Because this is not a judgment. This is not a condemnation. This is a recognition that it's time to do the real work. Why? Because we're healing not only this generation, but 7 generations ahead. So that requires that we have honesty in the space. As you said, Lady Kanitha, there are people who are just awesome, that are great apart, that are best apart, but not good together. Yes. And I've seen it, whether it's politics, whether it's community organizing, whatever it may be, there are people who have different strengths, and they're employed in different areas that work best for them, but they may not be able to be in the same room all the time. Everybody's job is not the same. And so we work in this spiritual tradition toward aligning ourselves with the principles. How's it working for you to think that you were born in a space of sin and filth, but you want to put an affirmation on the mirror that tells you that all things are good and that you are a manifestation of good? Is that oil and water? Don't be afraid to ask these questions. This is the year of divine reciprocity, movement back and forth. This is the year where you redefine everything that's open for you. And check your thoughts to see if they are in alignment molecularly with your actions and with your heart. And you have an opportunity to make that move without emotion. You have anything to add on that before I go my third point?
No,
it's
you
coming.
know what? I think do you want to go ahead and do your third point?
Yeah, and then we'll open it up.
Yes, because I've got something, but I'll do your third, because you might be hitting on, do your third point.
Third point on the remarkable we got. The third final point. Trust your test results. Oh, Lord. Then shift into alignment for long-term healing. You see, when you go, some about me just wants to, I just want to get it old school. Sometimes when you go to the doctor, the doctor runs the tests. The results come in. The results produce a prescription. It may not be necessarily medicine. The prescription leads to healing. Your test results here. This has been your doctor. Your test results are alignment. Oil and water is the test, literally and spiritually. My question is, what are you going to do with the results for your long-term healing? How do you, in this space, take the results that you're getting from the spiritual inventory today? Some of y'all so deep, I already know. Y'all thought this is going beyond relationship. This is my relationship with people. This is my relationship with my purpose and my career. This is my relationship with my children. But it's also my relationship with my own spirituality. It's my relationship with the universe. This is what we look at. Go to my remarkable. Your test results now determine when you do this work. This is the real spiritual practice, y'all. When you say, I have healthy self-esteem, does it line up to your public face? Because if you feel within that you are negative and you present as positive, the result is always going to be a mix, an emulsified mix that we see here on this table. It's not going to mix. Your level of self-esteem, you have to feel and know that you are as good as you present publicly, or else you will continue to have conflict. Here's another one. Do your professed fitness goals equal your lifestyle? Being healthy, becoming healthy, walking in your whole body, it is a practice just as much. You don't get it by just imagining it. You get it by putting in the work. And you do it gratefully, knowing that everything is progress and progressive in degrees. The last thing, healthy relationships. Oh, Lord, it's what we want, that work all the time. Versus conscious maintenance. I don't know why my remarkable goes out at the end there at the bottom, but it's part of life. That's how it does. Something about that bottom life covers. Maintenance, okay, y'all know what it means. Versus conscious maintenance. What does that mean? That means that if I want to maintain a healthy relationship, if I want to attract a healthy relationship, I am first what I am. I am that I am. I give, I get, I got it good. That's the mantra for this year, right? I am that I am. I am a manifestation. I attract what I am, not what I want. So I just want a healthy relationship. Well, are you healthy with the relationship with yourself? Then you attract that which you are. If you're in a state of confusion, if you're in a state of movement, if you're in a state of transition, then that's what you're going to attract. I talked to somebody the other day. They said, well, I'm in transition right now. That's cool. That's great. Well, yeah, I'm just trying to think if I should do something permanent. Then never make a permanent decision while you're in transition. Right. Because everything that you took with you in the transition journey is going to be thrown into the heap. And it's going to be thrown away. When you're in transition, be honest and you're in transition. And it's okay, because I'm not judging transition. I've been in transition moments in my life. And I had to learn to be honest. This is a transition moment. I'm enjoying this right now. When I come to a space of stillness, though, there may be some new ways that I'm thinking about things. And trust yourself enough to say that. When you then get into a healthy relationship, that's not the end, because it requires maintenance. Just like when you get a brand new vehicle, you got to change the oil, you got to rotate the tires, you got to make sure that the water is clear, the radiator, you got to make sure that all these things happen so you can have longevity. Same thing with healthy relationships. You have to provide maintenance. That is the prescription for healing. When we move from getting these test results and we begin to move into places that are in alignment with our spirit. What came up for you? And then I'm going to open this floor up, Lady Kanitha, for...
Yes, okay.
There we
This
go.
was great because I'm glad I say.
Come on in the room.
Okay, so I'm going to, so each of these separate things, the water walking in its divine purpose, the oil is working in its divine purpose. I'm going to give an example of when, as they're working in their divine purpose, the result, them working together, there's a great result. And I'm going to use cooking as my what do you say? Analogy? Analogy, is that right? Is that analogy?
Come on, leading lady.
Okay, so when I'm cooking my vegetables, especially with as I'm doing it as a vegetarian, and I don't use any meat, right? I have to use olive oil because olive oil is my fat that usually you get from a meat.
You get from meat, yeah.
So I'll cook my onions, my garlic, my seasoning, spices, all of that in the olive oil. And it is doing its thing, okay? It is getting those onions cooked right.
Yes.
My garlic cooked, my spices together. And I'm like, okay, I got a little something special going on. You know, I just got this oil, but it's working in its divine purpose. I wasn't trying to pre-mix it together. It's working alone in its divine purpose.
Good point.
And so everything gets cooked. Well, now I needed to add the extra layer before I added my vegetables. I haven't added my actual vegetables, my green beans or my collard greens or whatever it is, cabbage. I have to have my vegetable broth. And you know that the main component of vegetable broth is water, right? You can make it yourself by boiling the vegetables in the water and adding seasonings. But the main component of it is water, right? So guess what I do? I put my vegetable broth that's made of water, and my water is working in its divine purpose, and I put it in together. And there's something that happens when it cooks because they did their own divine purpose type of thing. It creates that same type of flavoring as the fat of the meat. Once I cook it down, I let it sit. I don't see any rising to the top anymore because they've already done their job. They've worked in their divine purpose. And I add my vegetables. And there's something that happens with those vegetables. They turn out, y'all, the vegetables be fire.
No, they fire now.
They be fire.
Wait till we're going to have some kind of dinner for y'all. Y'all have to taste these vegetables.
But there was something that happened, and the end result is great food, great tasting vegetables that are still healthy for you. But that wouldn't have happened if I had tried to pre-mix it together. I allowed each of these components to work in their divine purpose alone in its own way, and there was something that happened. And I think about that scripture, you can't serve two masters.
Oh, no man can serve two masters. You must love one and hate the other.
I think about our thoughts. Right.
Yes.
And a lot of times we think that as we're on this journey and we're getting these test results, we're looking at how we want to change our life. And we
Yes.
get these results about things. And we're flip-flopping on our thoughts. Right? We're going from good to bad thoughts, the positive
Yes.
thoughts to negative
Yes,
negative
yes, yes, yes.
You cannot serve two masters.
That's right.
There has to be one single focus,
That's right.
And
That's
that's
right.
what I think about this, is that in its own course, by itself, as it is, in its divine purpose, the oil works well in its divine purpose. It don't need nothing else. The water works well because
on.
it's in its divine purpose.
Yes.
It attracts more things that are like its component. The oil is going to attract more things like it. This is us. We're going to attract more things like it. What it like attracts like, right? So I think about that with our steadiness of when we're evaluating ourselves, when we're assessing our lives, when we're going through things,
Yes.
we're trying to figure things out, we're trying to change things in our lives. We got to go back to that thought. What is it that you're serving? What is it that you're connecting to? What do you typically go to that's not serving you and putting you in alignment with what needs to happen? What are you trying to make happen? And it's not on the right vibrational frequency for that.
Exactly. But yes, and no man can serve two masters. No woman can serve two masters. When we think about that, because of our Western upbringing, we automatically go to slavery.
Yes,
Well, already go to slavery. But the reality is we are dually minded. So we have our spirit, our intuition, that which comes to us, and then we have intuition, because I'm going to do that, Tony. I'm going to go to my Q&A. Listen, I'm going to open this up for everybody. I'm going to put this little big head person here and pretend that he's a human that actually looks like a skull.
Okay.
But I'm going to draw, this is the alien person with a funny little thing. But if we divide, we've got his mind here. This is actually your pineal gland. I'm going to say this is your pineal gland. This is your larger brain. Some people would say the pineal is your ancestry. Or as I'm sure Brother Rob Moses would say, it is your third eye. It is the eye of Heru or Horus. It is that third eye. And then this is your brain. I'm going to say, for the sake, not of neuroscience, because we're not going to get too deep into this, I'm going to say that your pineal is your intuition. It is buried inside, in the middle of your conditioning. So, our initial thing, if we have a premise that is given, whatever that premise is, and this goes back to what you were saying, Lady Kanitha, your intuition comes to you. You know if something is not a good fit, but then your conditioning kicks in. And I'm going to tell you how we do it in relationships. Oh, but they're a good person.
But
They pay the bills.
at least.
They beat me because they love me. I'm not saying this is not a far. I've heard people literally say that. Well, they hit me sometimes, but it's only because they love me. They just want to make sure they're really a good person. We start listening to that. Well, why? Well, they make a certain amount of money per year. Oh, well, they make sure that all the bills are paid. Well, they make sure that they really are handsome or beautiful. Well, now you're being honest. I'm afraid to be alone. Everything's aren't working out. Now, I'm not encouraging you to saying you're going to be alone, but you can be alone and not be lonely. You can be alone and be content with yourself, and then that contentment radiates to the universe and opens up everyone who fits in alignment with you. And it's okay. And I'm talking about purpose too. Because somebody out there is right on the cusp of either giving up or going 100%. And I'm telling you right now, this is your message from the universe telling you don't give up, go 100%. This is your time. This is your moment. Grab it. Opening up the chat for questions. If you have any questions, this is your time where you can get your instruction, your spiritual instruction. Take this moment to get spiritual instruction. If you have something that you're dealing with, Lady Kenitha and I can help you with. We begin to ask these questions, and we've just got a few minutes before we close out service. So we want to know what those questions are. Tony will bring them up on screen so that we can see what those questions are for us. And I think we're going to start out with Brother Tyrell. Thank you, Brother Tyrell. How does spiritual practice help regulate and align ego with divine alignment? Great question, Tyrell, which I expect from somebody like Tyrell. Tyrell does not ask easy questions, so he does not get easy answers. And so I love it. How does my spiritual practice help regulate and align ego with divine alignment? Brother Tyrell, I'm going to put you on a scale. All right, and on this scale that I'm going to draw here for you on the screen, I'm going to put your spiritual practice on one end of the scale. I'm going to put divine alignment on the other end of the scale. These are two things that are obviously important to you and obviously important to a number of people who are watching today. And so I'm so glad that Spirit led you to be able to introduce this question. So we've got divine alignment, we got spiritual practice. Both of them are on a scale. The scale that tips it one way or the other is the ego. So ego brings into balance spiritual practice. But it is only when ego is not built by itself. Because if ego becomes the primary judgment of spiritual practice and divine alignment, we always think of things in there, how it serves us in our ego. Will people see me as a deep person? Will people see me as somebody they want to follow? Will people see me as somebody that they will give money to help their lives change? Oh my gosh, is this going to sound great when I present it in public? That is all ego. Yes. That is all ego. However, having healthy ego is important because you have to have enough confidence to go into the world without being conceited. Yes. So, how do we make sure that ego brings about the proper balance between spiritual practice and divine light? Alignment. We go back to the drawing. If ego is a facilitator for bringing spiritual practice as a space of divine alignment, and that spiritual practice can be, you know what you need to do. You need to meditate. I'm going to put you need to come to Infinity on Sundays because this is a place where I get my spiritual alignment too. Yes. It can be reading. Most importantly, it's doing, which is the foundational principle of SNAP. Divine alignment, guess what? It's all of those same things on the other side. And it's most importantly, it's fruit for generations. And so when this drawing comes up here in real time, Tyrell and everybody else who has a similar question, guess what? Ego is the lens that says, I am worthy enough to be on television. I am worthy enough to go and lead and be a leader in my family. I am worthy enough to go out and get this business. I am worthy enough to write this book. I am. But ego is only effective in bringing about spiritual balance if it is on another foundation. Ego left to itself will create imbalance. Ego, when it's built upon the foundation of living your highest self, which is built on a foundation of divine purpose, your divine purpose, why God wants you here, first and foremost, upon that rock is built your highest self, which is not ego. The ego then becomes a tool of the highest self and divine purpose that then comes with humility. And that's how you know it's working. If it's anything else, then it's ego. But if it's something that is in tune with your highest self and your divine purpose, this is where most people miss out. They haven't reconciled their highest self with their divine purpose. They've only focused on ego. Ego is my brand. Ego is, say it again.
I said me.
Ego is me. Go on with it to later, Kanisha. I'm going to look up for these other questions. Yes, but something in you was speaking.
No, I was just thinking about that. The more that you go through that higher self and then you get to your divine purpose, then you start seeing less of how you are. It's just you alone, but it's you and the greater good. You're connected to this whole unit, this whole thing called the universe, and you're just a component piece to the operation of the healthiest, of the highest level of love, of peace, of moving in the greater good for others, of the greater good for yourself. You start to operate from that when you start going to those other places and you're operating again in your divine purpose. In frequency with that. Yeah.
I love it. I'm here with it because that's completely in line with what we're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Listen, let's give some of these teaching. Let's go back to the chat. Tony, tell us what we got. Okay, I got Sister Jasmine Love, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you for technology. It hit me to look on the screen here and find it on here, and I'm going to find it and see if I can magnify it. Okay. I know. I've got my glosses. I'm wearing my glosses today. All right. When you still have to deal with people, places, or things that you have learned you're out of alignment with, how do you keep the ego in check and remain in alignment with spirit and yourself?
Y'all got some questions. Love it.
I love it. A lot of these are going to go up under this one big heading up here, Sister Jasmine, on the tablet. What will I do now? Thank you, Tony. What will I do now? How do you keep the ego in check and remain in alignment with spirit and yourself? I'm going to change my pencil to a pen because I like it like that. Okay, there we go. I want you to ask the 5 W's that we use during our welcome. Who, what, where, when. Somebody in the chat's going to say the last one, and why. Who am I truly? What am I doing here? Who am I truly? What am I doing here? Where are my thoughts? When is my opportunity to transform? And why am I present? I can apply all of these to any number of situations, right? Your ego. You get invited to an event because it will help someone else. Well, who am I there to help? Is it going to help my cause in life? Am I going to be okay with saying no because it's not feeding my spirit? Sometimes we put ourselves in places that do not feed our spirit because we don't want to look bad. But when we ask the questions that we ask inside our hearts, operated from our highest self, what resonates with us, it's okay to not go to everything. It's okay if you're in a circumstance where there was an old set of friends that came around as a result of an old relationship and you're not in that relationship anymore. It's okay to not go around anymore. It's okay if you go into a limited space to do that, but you have an understanding of where you are right now. You cannot go into a space, you cannot go around people, places, and things that only see you in a limited way. This is the first test, Jasmine. I'm glad you asked that. One of the biggest dynamics is family. And some people have a family dynamic where they stay together, they learn each other, they evolve together, and that's beautiful. But often in family dynamics, people leave a house when they're 18 years old, and they may not come back till they're 30. And they're in a house with siblings and cousins, and they're like, oh yeah, look at you, you think you something. I remember we used to walk around digging up under your arms with sticks. Yeah, that's how you are. Yeah, I know him. This is how he. You're 40 years old. You're 50 years old. You're 30-something years old. You're old. You've been out in the world longer than you were when you were scratching under your arms with sticks as a kid. But the people in that environment only see you in that box. So you've got to, even when you go into those spaces, remind yourself of who you are right now, not who you were back then. This is what generational healing is. People lock people into mistakes that they were making before their brains were even fully formed. And they see them the same way. Some people get trapped in trauma that they had at a certain age, and they refuse to let go because the trauma has become a badge of honor. Every time they walk in a room, they got to tell you about the trauma. Every time you go around people, they got to talk about how bad things were and how they, listen, that's somebody who's still stuck in the trauma. Utilize your healthy ego to advance your highest self into the room, to say that I don't have to bite on everything that's put in my direction. I decline your invitation to a lower vibration. I also do not, if I recognize another thing that we got to be careful of, because when we walk in this wonderful space of healing and therapy and other places that are necessary for us, we got to make sure that we don't just take the words and miss the action. And I've had a message on this before, we identify the trigger and we know what triggers us. And so we think we're being smart by saying, oh, I know my triggers, these are my triggers. Then why are you still around them? Because you get no advancement out of just knowing what the triggers are. You get advancement out of recognizing your triggers, then allowing your highest self to say, that's not me anymore. I'm not living in the past, so I'm moving on.
Yes, instead of trying to do this.
Instead of trying to do this and mix it all up, you're recognizing and having separation and saying, I am healed. Yes. I am moving beyond my ability for these things to continue to trigger me. And now I'm becoming a transforming change agent. And guess what? If you go back to the remarkable, you go back to these 5 things and you get answers through writing, through meditation, that is your test. That is your diagnosis of where I am. If I'm still feeling discomfort in who I am, I got to get some work done. If I still don't know why I'm on this earth, I need to start delving into my divine purpose. If I still have these thought patterns that are not lining up, what can I do to make sure that I keep my thoughts right? Thoughts, same thing here, right? Clear thoughts, no matter what they are. I'm not judging good or bad, good and good. Clear thoughts are reinforced by action. What kind of books are you reading? You're not going to get any positivity if all you're reading is drama. What kind of shows are you watching? If every show you watch is people fighting, and people getting up in each other's faces, and then you expect to have spirituality become pristine and crystal clear to you? No, it's because your vibration has been tuned to something else. Take a pause and ask yourself, how is this advancing my life? And if it's not, then don't fool with it. Because you are now in a space where you got to heal in this generation and stop living in the past. You're so much more than your yesterday. All right, take a deep breath in. Give me another one. Tone. Lady Kenitha, you have anything to add to that? I didn't, because stuff comes up for you quick.
Yeah.
Come on with it.
Always, because
I love it.
y'all, something is always on my mind. But when I was hearing about this, like divine purpose, and us using those different whys, and we're assessing our life. Don't forget to have fun. Like all of this is supposed to be fun, not a strain, not a nervous. Oh God, my
I'm glad
divine
you
purpose,
said
and
that.
I'm not on my. Oh God, no. It was meant for you to be able to assess this and say, okay, what is it that's gonna bring me joy? What am I gonna match? Because again, like attracts like. So if you want more fun in your life, you want more ease in your life, then you have to take these exercises with that same type of frame of mind, your thoughts toward it. It's not like, oh, I'm not there. Oh, Jesus,
Yeah, that's right.
yesterday no, it's okay, And I always think about that. We forget to think of it in terms of, having fun. Like it's a joy when you're able to operate from your divine purpose, even if you're still trying to figure it out. The universe will direct you to where you need to go
God
and
sure
how it's
will.
supposed to be.
It sure will.
But it is supposed to be,
Well, you're here. You're here to be joyful.
Yes.
And I'm glad you
And
point that out.
yes, you'll have your moments of contrast, right?
Moments of contrast
But
help you grow.
yes, but not all the time.
Not all the time. I mean, I love it in church. I would focus on this in church, and it's like, yeah, but you got to deal with the sin and all that. I was like, wait a minute. Jesus said, I came that thou might have life and have life more abundantly. So he's like, yeah, but there's more to it. No, wait a minute. Hold on. If the man's saying the only reason I came here is to demonstrate to you that you're going to do greater things than me, but also that you have life and have life more abundant. That's what this whole thing is doing. That's why we're here. We're here that you can have abundance for this generation, and in so doing, going forward 7 generations. Because how you set this template, your recognition that there's a shift right now is a beautiful recognition that, again, you're healing those behind and that's forward. But you're doing it through your action. You're not doing it by spending a whole lot of time in the future and a whole lot of time in the past. Those of you who know, thinking about the future too much can cause anxiety.
Yes.
And thinking about the past will cause regret and guilt and shame.
Yes.
So what are you doing right now in this alignment space? Let's go and take a question from Sister Denise. Where have you and Lady Lakay teaching us and exposing us to things that go against the programming we have adapted to for generations? Love it. How can we keep our new discoveries refreshed and in the forefront of our lives to strengthen the things we learn right now in order to go back to the chat, Tony, so I can get the end of that question? I'll scroll up and go back to it because I think I've got it somewhere down here. So let's talk in general, like how do we, there it is, I see it. How do we keep our new discoveries refreshed and in the forefront of our lives to strengthen the things we learn right now in order to empower our lives, our daily lives, love, relationships, and all things around us? How do we keep our new discoveries refreshed? All right. Good. Let's go to the remarkable. How do we keep these lessons refreshed in our lives? This is going to be real. It's going to be so simple that it sounds crazy. Y'all ready? I'm thinking about making it artistic. Okay. By doing. Da-na-na. By doing. You see, we can go down and have something called the paralysis of analysis. And the paralysis of analysis makes us think, talk, study, talk, read, talk, walk, talk, Talk. Talk. Discover. Talk. 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 Meditate. Talk. Talk. Talk.
My Lord.
All right, so look, I got to hunt for the secret. Because of the paralysis of analysis, I got to hunt. I got to find study, read, do the walk. I got to get some discovery. Got to get some meditation. Oh, I forgot. Practice. Talk. 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 So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I can pull out to help me actually do are buried in a sea of talk. As my teachers would say, stop talking and start doing. Stop talking. If you've got a massive field, if we got a massive yard, we got a massive field out there, and we say that we want to see fruit trees. We could do everything in the world to talk about how we can give all kind of lessons on fruit tree growing. We can show pictures on our Pinterest page of fruit trees. We can wear fruit trees on our hats and t-shirts. We can do all of that, and not a damn fruit tree is going to grow. But get this is the deep part. If we actually put down the phones, the devices, put down everything else, and go out and take a piece of saran wrap and a bag of dirt and a pocket knife and go to a fruit tree, somebody that has a fruit tree that will allow you to get a cutting, and we make a 1-inch deep cut in there, put some rooting compound on it, wrap the saran wrap on it, and we're patient, and we go about doing the other work. When we come back to that clipping and unwrap that saran wrap, that ram wrap, there will be a root ball. We clip it off and we take it and we plant it. And we do that several times. And we look up the next season and you see the fruit trees there. The fruit tree farmer is rarely concerned with talking about growing fruit trees. They're too busy growing the trees. So we have to make the transition from simply talking about doesn't mean anything. I could sit and be an expert on a ton of things, but I always look and say, where is it bearing fruit in my life? The best way to find a closure of the circle of the cycle of healing for this generation is for me to pour time and energy into making sure that I'm not doing I'm not advancing the trauma that happened in generations before me, and that I'm not gifting my friends, my children, my community, my grandchildren, my aunts, my nieces and nephews. I'm not gifting them with a childhood that they have to recover from. So when we think about that, it controls our actions. You know, and that's what I think about a lot as well. I'm like, there are times when I go somewhere, some people come, I left my kids. I'm like, well, you know what? My kids need to see what a political debate looks like. My kids need to be in an environment where they go to a nice banquet or a nice event. They need to be here so that they can experience this, and that helps them going forward. So we began to live through our actions, recognizing that healing is people in the next generation and the present generation watching us and seeing how it bears fruit in our lives. You had something you want to add? No. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next question.
That was good.
I know I've got some comments in there too, and I love it. Sister Iris said, I can't complain. I've had some good days. Yes, Tyrell, y'all are going here. I love it. Just keep pouring into each other's in the infinite streams, y'all. CR says, worry attracts worry. Joy attracts joy. Christina says, reminds us that the trauma is their honor. Oh, it's in there. Thomas Sheffield, good to see you, Sheffield. Hadn't seen you in a while. I'm waiting for you one of these months to show up. Let me shake your hand. Is it your ego if you don't think you have an ego or recognize your ego? Is it your ego if you don't think you have an ego or recognize your ego? Yeah, it's your ego. If you don't think you have an ego, yeah, that's your ego talking. It's not yourself. And sometimes we will create this false humility, as it's called. And people will say, that was an exceptional job. I really enjoy, I love what you did. And when we say, well, no, it's not me. It's the Lord. It's just little old me. I'm just a vessel. Then you get in the car, you're like, yeah, boy. Well, then the humility was false. It would be better for you to not go in the far ego space and say, well, of course, what do you expect from me? I'm exceptional. But to accept the compliment.
And go into the gratitude space.
Come on, gratitude.
Go into the gratitude space. Because when you start
on.
doing things, it is natural to be like, oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I was working, but you just automatically go into the gratitude space. The gratitude space keeps our ego in check.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
we're
it does,
always
doesn't it?
finding, through gratitude, we're finding the good, and we are putting ourselves back into that higher self, highest self, because we're saying thank you, good morning to you. This is a great day. I'm grateful for,
Yes.
I'm grateful that you gave me that compliment. I'm glad that we were able to be on this journey in spirit, share this spiritual thing together. Thank you. And that thank you, there's no ego in that. Right? There's no ego that's really happening in such a way. Gratitude always
It always does.
yeah.
Gratitude always wins out. And I don't have any other, if there's any other one, you might have to tell me, Tony, because I think that, yes, I think there's one more. Did you just put up another one? Yeah, that's fine. All right. Generations behind you, bringing you to the present. Then for future generations, here, how do you align those past transgressions in divinity? Good. Past transgressions. That's a great question. I think that's going to be the one that we wrap up on. As we think about the past transgressions, all right, I'm gonna tell you like it comes out. What can you do about it? If somebody did you wrong in the past, what can you do about it? Especially when they no longer walk around the earth, you want to go dig them up, beat up on their earth suit? How long are you going to sit there? Because what that ends up being a giant albatross, a big weight that you tie around your own neck that keeps you from standing up. And then we want to complain that our back is hurting when we've chosen to put this weight around. And we all got a story. But consider, go to my remarkable. Consider your story. Are you telling your story from a position of woe, or are you telling your story from a position of gratitude? Yes. Went to jail. Some of us been to jail before. Some been arrested before. Is it, I went to jail, woe is me, or is it, I am no longer in jail, from a space of gratitude? When we talk about bad experiences, childhood trauma, I am a survivor. A survivor is different from a victim, even though you were victimized. There's only so far you can go before woe becomes a badge of honor. If you ever been in a circle of people who are in woe, I've had to excuse myself from the room in places because people are wearing the badges of honor, and it becomes a seed spitting contest. Oh, you think that was bad? Let me tell you my story. And then somebody else has to have something that tops that off. And before long, everybody is in this circle of negativity and nobody is realizing that they have survived these things. Nobody's talked about what they're working on now. Nobody's talking about the blessings that they saw when the children came home. Nobody's talking about all of the awesome opportunities they have now for a piece of property that they're turning into an estate. All of the great things that are in front of you cannot be acknowledged because people are living in the past. What can you do about it? And if somebody says, well, hey, I had these childhood experiences, they're very real, I say, yes, they are. And what lessons did you learn about how you will treat young people whose care who you're in charge of right now? When you're teaching in a program, when you're encountering people in your family, how are you pouring into them a way? How are you protecting them from the things that you suffered through? Because that's a lesson I learned from my trauma, is that I'm not going to allow somebody to go through this again. And when I see this happening with other people, my trauma has given me empathy. I know what it's like to be the kid that was not picked on the playground. I know what it was like to be the kid who was discriminated against because I was talented, but I was the wrong shade of skin. So that means that I am not going to spend my time talking about that other than recognizing through empathy that this is something that I do not have to pass on to someone else. So that when I'm in an environment that may be overwhelmingly a different skin shade, and I see a child who looked like me about to lower their heads, I can go to them and say, oh, hey, wait a minute. I know what you're thinking right now, but I just want you to know that you're awesome. And I want you to remember this whenever you're in spaces like this, that you're awesome and don't let anybody steal your joy. What a beautiful moment. But I would not be able to have that moment or to even recognize the look in their eye or the energy coming off their shoulders had I not been in that position myself. So my experiences that you deem to be negatives, experiences of woe, become experiences of gratitude and gratefulness. My four favorite words that I tell people, and so what next? So guess what's going to happen here today? As we move to depart from this place, this is the time to not go without. The without spaces are for gratitude. This is the time to go within. As I'm listening to this, I'm going within too. So this week, I'm going to my journal. I'm going to assess my family. I'm going to look at my relationships. I'm going to look at my actions. And every single day, I'm going to say, what is this particular action I'm taking going to do to advance healing for the next generation? Ooh. Ooh. I'm going to tell you a secret because this is all joyful. I love the joy. The joyfulness of this lesson today, of this series that we've been doing, the joyfulness is found in knowing that healing is joy.
Yes.
Healing is joy, y'all. Healing is joy. Somebody in the chat say healing is joy. Type it. Everybody watching, just thumb it. Say healing is joy. If you don't know, when I was 27, 28 years old, I wrote a story about playing in a game, dunking a basketball. My dad came to see me, and it was this hand right here. I was playing in a league, and I tried to catch this pass from a real experienced basketball player, so it was like a bullet, and something bad happened. It jammed this finger, and it was never the same. I probably should have gone to the doctor. I pulled it out some and all that. It was slightly crooked, and it was, oh my God, so painful. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. I still remember it. And I'm grateful. Why? Because eventually I had to force myself to bend that finger, because I didn't want to lose use of the finger. And it was also my middle finger, so I didn't want to try to make a fist and not be able to bend my middle finger, and people get offended all the time. So I said, God, please help me. And I would just squeeze balls, and I would rehab, and I would rehab. I'm going to tell you, the next time I was able to catch a basketball and shoot it, I could have gotten the Holy Ghost. The next time I was able to catch a pass with no pain. The next time I was able to throw something, to grip something, to play a note on the saxophone or to pick a guitar, I was so thankful because healing brings joy. And just like if a joint is harmed, just like if a bone is broken, just like if you got a toothache and you need a filling or a crown. Oh, Lord, my mom used to say, I'd rather have a baby than a toothache. I said, what, Mama? She said, something about a toothache. I don't like a toothache. And some people don't, and most people don't like it. But it's painful. But guess what happens when the healing happens? It's joy. It's the same way spiritually. It's the same way psychologically. It's the same way in relationships. When you bring about healing, it is joyful for you. There is nothing like being able to take children into experience spaces, being able to take people in relationships into experience spaces that you never had before. I do things with my kids that my parents never did with us. Not because they probably didn't want to, but they just didn't know about. My kids are traveling around eating sushi with chopsticks and all kind of stuff. They don't even know that they're getting these experiences, right? But they're experiences that I never had that are joyful, and laughing and watching them enjoy those things. It's like, oh my gosh, wow, we're doing something great. And that's a space of gratitude. Do something joyful this week. Why? Because you are here on a divine assignment. You're here for a purpose and a reason, and you're here. And as I'm here in a space of healing. But my first obligation is to heal myself, yes, and to make sure that I am an instrument through action of healing others. And that brings it all through the test of alignment. And it brings us to a point where we decide what's good for us at time. And as Lady Kenitha told us, there's a time when we use the oil, there's a time when we use the water. There's a time when we bring them into alignment. If we don't bring them into alignment, it just becomes convoluted. Because even with that mix that we did of this oil and water, eventually over time, which is the case, you still end up with that separation. And you still end up realizing that you're not in the mix. But I want y'all to be in alignment. Sometimes it's better to be in alignment than it is to be in the mix of things. And it's from being intentional. Because I promised y'all in my last confession before we hit a perm and get on out of here, appreciate all y'all in the chat, that it's all about being intentional. You could be well-meaning. I was a little thirsty a minute ago, and I reached with my left hand, and I stopped myself because I was in the middle of a cosmic flow, but something in my left brain reminded me the coffee is on the right, because I was sure about to take a drink of this olive oil, and then I would have been mad. But that's because I wasn't paying attention to my intention. So this week, y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to your intention. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Let it go. And as we come into alignment here, as we move back into the space of prayerfulness, I invite you to take a deep breath again and to consider yourself in the space of alignment right now. Consider yourself in alignment with the space of divine assignment. Close your eyes, bow your head. God, we thank you for the lessons today. We thank you for the blessing of the experience. We thank you for divine alignment around the concept and understanding of joy. We thank you for this healing. That just like as was demonstrated on first Sunday with Newton's cradle, what we put into the world is coming back. And we put love into the space right now. I speak for all of those in this room and those on the infinite stream around the world, that they recognize that the good in their life is their vibration. That we all spend time in this meditative space to understand that in the end, we are on divine assignment. That we are no longer aligning ourselves with things that do not advance us and grow us spiritually. We are in alignment right now, and we are clear. We're crystal clear. And just like the water in the glass, we are open now for transformation. As we pour into one another from this moment, I speak that there is clarity in the space. I speak that there are open doors in this space. I speak that there is healing in this space. I speak that there is release in this space. I speak that ego will be submerged in divine purpose, such that energy can emerge that will change the world evermore. We are so grateful to pronounce these things together, to heal our minds, to treat our minds to the treatment of affirmation. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it all out. Speak aloud these words. I am on a divine assignment. I release misalignment. I release mixed signals to the universe. I release my negative self-talk. I release negative forces in my life. I attract the good. I embrace my assignment. My heart is in alignment with my assignment. My thoughts are in alignment with my assignment. My actions are in alignment with my assignment. Oil anoints my head with goodness. Water cleanses my mind and heals my body. My God energy is limitless. I am on a divine assignment. And I'm an A+ student. And so it is. Deep breath here. Exhale, let it go. We speak and know these things to be true. So it is spoken, so it is received, and so it is. Amen and Ashe. Rub those hands together. Generate that light energy. Place them now over your heart and inhale. Feel the good and know the good. Accept the good. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. And so it is. Roll those hands around, and I want you to send it back to me and the people in the room around you. Sending that light energy out into the world of goodness, knowing that as we heal ourselves, we're sending this love and healing to others. 1, 2, 3. Woo. Y'all feel that? Somebody got knocked backward on YouTube. They're like, whoa, whoa, what was that? That was the thousands of people around the world who are going to get this energy. Listen, y'all, on behalf of Lady Kenitha, we love you guys. We thank you for joining us today. On behalf of our tech crew, Brother Tony I and Brother Daniel, we are so excited that we were able to have an awesome If Teaches. Listen, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. If you got something from this, share the broadcast with somebody else. Say, hey, this is something that changed my life. I think it'll change yours. And we'll continue to put this space of alignment forward. This generation and generations backwards. Next week is Yoga Sunday. It's restorative. Get your pillows, get everything, lay out on the floor. Doesn't matter your level. You can go to sleep with us for a few minutes next Sunday if you want. But that's the final day. We're going to wrap up this 7 Generations series, and we're going to put it into the body. All right. With that said, we look forward to you joining us in the singing of our song. Put your hands together. Stand up. Put your hands on your heart. Grab somebody and let's sing together as we recognize that as our hearts and minds are clear, we allow ourselves to move from this place into a world that awaits our light. We ask that as you recognize through the singing of this song that your energy is sacred life. We know that this sacred life energy flows from our mouths through the song and into the hearts of those around the world with new life and new abundance, tuning our frequency into balance with the universe for the peace, love, and joy that we accept in the present right now. Let us sing.
If today's a brighter day and we are on our way, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we Remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family. If today's a brighter day and we are on our way, then we can begin to heal ourselves again. Oh, we remember yesterday, and yet today's the day. God's reminding me to look at you and see family.
God's reminding me.
God's reminding me to look at you and see family.
God's reminding me.
God's reminding me to look at you and see family.
We speak that the love of God, the power of the ancestors, and the cosmos rest, rule, rock, and abide with you henceforth, now, and forevermore. Let us all sing together.
Amen, Amen. Hotep Shalom, Namaste, Ashe.
We love you guys. That's a fact you cannot change. Listen, go ahead and throw some love on somebody in the chat. If you're new to Infinity, get ready to give it out and receive it. Before this broadcast ends, as we are scrolling our announcements, at somebody. If you see an interesting name, just put the @ sign and say blessings upon you this week. Open doors for you in healing. You're exceptional. You're awesome. Go ahead and feel that, because that's how we send you out of this awesome celebration of who you are and whose you are. It's Reverend Jeff Obafemi Carr. Love you guys. We'll see you next week for Your Sunday.